So yesterday, while this is going on, we're in meetings. I'm doing Zooms. I'm doing a bunch of different things. People are texting me, your boy got down, and, your boy, they took him down. They all this. I'm like, listen, keep going. One more. Right there. Click on that one. Right there. Click on that one. Zoom in a little bit. Okay. I said, don't know exactly the details of Tate's arrest, but here's what I do know. A day after he publicly calls out one of woke's heroes, Greta Thunberg, they raid his place. Strange timing. Meanwhile, we haven't seen anyone from Epstein's list arrested.
Weird.
Strange. Mm-hmm. Now go to the bottom. At the bottom, I say he's loud. He pushes the envelope. He frustrates the left. He points out hypocrisy. He's duplicating young men to do the same. Having said that, if they committed a crime, the proper agencies will do what they need to do. Till then, innocent till proven guilty. So then I get invited on this Twitter Spaces with, again, the guy Mario Nufal. I think he does a fantastic job as a host. And I'm on there. And he says, so Patrick, you've interviewed with him. You've spent many hours with him. How is he? How is he on camera? How is he off camera? I said, quite frankly, I liked him more off camera than on camera. And I liked him on camera.
Yeah.
I just liked him more off camera.
I would agree.
He says, so what do you have to say about, all this stuff that's coming out? I said, here's a couple things you have to be very careful with. First thing you have to be very careful with is, I said, as a father, anytime the school calls me telling me what my son did wrong, my natural inclination is to say what? My son would never do something.
Exactly.
Until I talk to him, I'm like, oh, shoot. He kind of did it again.
I know about you.
So, and by the way, that it ought to be that way. Parents ought to, have a certain level of loyalty and belief in their kids. If I get a call from somebody saying what you did something, and I'm getting a call and I'm talking to the person, you and I are going to have a conversation, and then I'm going to sit there and say, listen, it is what it is. Let's wait to see what's going on. Regardless of what it is, we have to know two things. Both can be right. One, I was going to Bible study years ago when I'm an atheist, and this guy's trying to convert me. I'm like, listen, you're not going to do it. 25 years I've been an atheist. You think you can convert me? And I told him, I said, look, I've been to churches. I've seen pastors do this. I've seen pastors take advantage of, members, rip them off with money, marriages, what they were doing on the side, smoking weed, doing drugs, having sex, and then they're claiming up there on stage that they're so mighty. He says, here's a rule number one about if you want to have a relationship with the man upstairs. If it's horizontal, you'll always be disappointed. If it's vertical, you'll never be disappointed. I said, explain that to me. He says, people are going to let you down, okay? Everybody is. You've let down your kids. You've let down your parents. At that time I don't have kids, but he's saying you've let down your parents. Your parents have let you down. Your sisters let you down. You've let her down. Your friends, all this stuff. None of us walk on water, okay? Just hope you don't make the big mistakes, but we don't walk on water. We all make mistakes. Don't be surprised if a hero disappoints you. That's one. So years after that, I'm working at this church. This one Assyrian guy comes to me. They want to create an Assyrian part of this church. I won't mention the guy's name. And he says, man, I will kiss the pastor's feet. He's this, he's that. He's saying this in front of 30 Assyrians in this one guy's house, Wilson. And I said, listen, never ever put that much pressure on a man to be perfect because he's going to fall. Never give that much, love and attention and accolades to a human being. Give him love. Give him respect. But you're talking as if he's God and he can't make any mistakes. He says he can't. He's never going to make mistakes. I said, listen, I don't want that kind of pressure. And I said, I can't help you guys out with this request that you have. Bring it to today, okay? You have to know the people who really support this guy, they don't think he can do anything wrong. And that's unfair to him. And it's managing too much expectations for yourself. The other side, the people who can't stand, like on yesterday's Twitter Spaces, one Romanian lawyer got on. He says they're not going to let him be bailed out. He's not going to get out. They're probably going to do 15 to 20 years. And another guy comes in, he should go to jail. And another, you should go to jail. He's going to go to jail. Do you realize what he did? This is unfair. All this stuff that they're saying about what's going on with this, right? People, by the end of yesterday's Twitter Spaces, everybody said, this guy's going to jail for 15 to 20 years. If you're a salesperson, if you're an Uber driver, if you're somebody that say you're doing Uber Eats, you do Lyft, you're out there running appointments, you run a small business, but you don't want to have a gun because you don't want to get arrested and you're not trying to kill anybody. You're just trying to stop somebody so you can call the cops so they can come to you and you have enough ample time for people to stop. You may want a gift for 2023 for somebody. You may want to buy him a Byrna gun And this burnout gun, when I called, I said, I want this thing to be optional for everybody to buy. I want our guys to have a discount. So that's exactly what we negotiated. The link is right there. If you're trying to buy something to protect yourself going into next year, next year is going to be year of investigation. It's going to be a very, very weird year with a lot of people going back and forth, especially coming closer to election time. Highly recommend you buy one of this for you. If you have a wife that does sales, highly recommend you buy it for her, your daughter, yourself, your sales team. Anybody and everybody that's out there seeing a lot of different people, but you don't want to get you're pro-Second Amendment or you're not a pro-Second Amendment person. This is the gun for you to make sure you can protect yourself. The moment you point this at somebody, the first thing they see is all they think about. It's a real gun, and you can protect yourself. Again, legal in all 50 states. Let's put a link below so people can take advantage of it. So
that's what they believe.
They believe. These
are
Romanian lawyer got on.
Oh, wow.
A Romanian lawyer got on and said, hey, here's what's going on. The Romanian lawyer also said something that was pretty fascinating. But the people who don't like him, let's not get it twisted. A girl yesterday tweets at me, some comedian, Nicole something, I don't even know what her last name is, but she tweets at me and she says, you're this and you're that, you're exactly this. I said, listen, the difference between me and you is you're emotional and you're speaking factual, like this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm being logical and paranoid. That's the only difference. I said, you're doing this, I'm doing that. Okay? And, so the people that are happy that he got arrested, you know what crowd they're a part of. You know why, they're celebrating whatever they're celebrating. Having said that, let's set that aside. Let's set those two aside. This is the most important point to be thinking about, okay? This is the most important point to be thinking about. If he committed the crime, he committed the crime, okay? I don't know all the rules and regulations. I don't know, Cardone got on and he says, well, I don't know anybody that does all the right business and has 6 different passports. Why do you need to have 6 different passports and et cetera, et cetera? Okay, it's a valid point. Why do you need 6 different passports? Maybe that's normal in Europe. Maybe that's how he gets around. Maybe it's a valuable thing to have passports. I know billionaires that have multiple passports. Maybe not 6, but I do know people that have 2 or 3 passports. In that area, it's actually very normal for somebody to have multiple passports.
He not so subtly addressed the fact that his father may or may not have worked for the CIA.
Yeah.
Weird, right?
Yeah. But here's the part, man. Like, we were doing a video a month ago on generational wealth. Remember when the whole thing was talking about generational wealth?
Rothschilds.
One of the things we realized is the Vanderbilts lost their wealth. They were the richest people in the world. They lost their wealth within 2 generations. Think about that.
Damn.
You're worth a few $100 billion. The money's lost within 2 generations. But the Medici family and the Rothschild family has kept the wealth and the power for many, many years. You know what rule those guys follow? One basic rule. Don't be loud.
Yeah.
Do not be loud. Don't call out the establishment. Don't be too opinionated. Stay low key. Keep a low profile. You don't see a Rothschild getting on TV, giving their opinions, running a podcast. You don't see a Medici family running the top podcast in the world. Now, having said that, the Medici and the Rothschild is playing a different game.
Right.
They're indirectly part of the establishment.
Of course.
Because they have to buy.
They are the global elite. They
exactly.
are the definition of the global elite.
So for Tate to go out and you keep calling out the heroes of the left over and over and over and over again, you're taking the ultimate risk. This means the speed to stardom is very, very quickly, but the fall could also be very, very quickly by these guys trying to manipulate and take you down. FYI, one of the corruptest countries in the world is Romania. You know how many people messaged me yesterday from Romania? Listen, this place is corrupt. That lawyer on the Twitter Spaces yesterday said the following. He said everything in Romania is about money. Everything. So if you want to buy them out to get out, you can do it. Mm-hmm. If other countries want to buy Romania, they can do it.
Wow.
If other countries want to call Romania to say, hey, man, you guys got to get this thing squared away, or else we're not going to give you the support, or we're not going to give you this, you have to do it. Because Romania, who's Romania? Is it a top 20 empire? Is it a top 50 empire? Nobody thinks about Romania as one of the most powerful empires in the world that everybody wants to have a relationship with.
Yeah, this ain't Rome.
No. This is definitely
Romania.
not Rome. So, meaning, if a place like Romania can be bought to take a guy like this down, that is very possible. Not saying that's what happened. That's very possible. Then, last but not least, I get a message this morning from a guy that's very, very connected in what's the word I'm looking for? He's very connected in law and FBI, PD, all
Department
of
of Justice type
extremely qualified guy. I don't want to give exactly what his job is because you know who it is.
Okay.
He said the following. I saw the interviews last night. Keep this in mind if you talk to him. They have to have probable cause to do these warrants. The excuse that somebody made a complaint, an anonymous complaint at that, and they sent a SWAT team to his house is bullshit. Even though it's Romania, they still have laws in the U.S. Embassy, and the U.S. Embassy was involved. I think the embassy put them up to it.
Wow.
He needs to find out where the hell and complain from there. Anyways, meaning he's trying to say
they all work together.
Meaning this is not accidental
Of course not.
to do the warrant. Maybe there is a probable cause for it, but also at the same time, U.S. Embassy was involved to go in and taking him down.
Weird.
So it's a very strange situation going on with this here. So it's not just a one-sided story. There's a lot of different sides to it. But everybody jumped to conclusions celebrating this guy getting arrested. It was like their New Year's came 3 days before with this guy getting arrested.
Mm-hmm. It was weird. And that guy, he reminds you of that, like John Gotti when he was out, and everybody was telling him, all the consiglieres, they were all like, listen, you're poking at the wrong. He's like, shut up. He's like, we're not supposed to be out. It's a secret thing. You know what I mean? Like exactly that situation with him. It's like, you poked it, just kind of disappear. You can't keep you can't keep messing with governments, and they're not going to come after your ass. This is a prime example of the same shit with Gotti.
A couple thoughts. A famous story that I always revisit with you that you said, I don't know who you were meeting with. You were meeting with some billionaire, and you had a business idea for this billionaire. And I think condescendingly, but also like affectionately, was like, Pat, there's two types of people in this world. There's the person who's trying to make their first billion and the person that's already made their billions. The difference between us is I'm just trying to keep my money, AKA the Medicis, the Rothschilds, these types of people. You're the first type of person. Good luck on your endeavors. I'm going to keep doing me. Yeah. Right? Essentially investing in stocks or investing in bonds, essentially, if you want to put it that way. Let's not forget, nobody knew Tate 1 year ago. No. Okay, unless you're a kickboxer guy, nobody knew Tate whatsoever. Okay, so he's essentially working on his first billion, if you know what I mean. So, you in today's society, whether you're good, bad, up or down, it's all about views, it's all about eyeballs, it's all about status. So he's trying to make a name for himself. The problem is what this is kind of akin to is like we all read Greek mythology as a kid. Icarus, he flew a little too close to the sun and he got burned. Yep. Regarding, I think, Romania, if I may address that, I had a conversation with a buddy who lives in Colombia. We were hanging out yesterday. I go, hey, listen, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? He goes, Saz, you live in America. That's a real sweet idea. In Colombia, it's guilty until proven innocent. Mm-hmm. Like he told the story of a buddy who got his house taken away from the government, and it's taken 10 years of legal nonsense to try to get his house back that he's entitled to. So I don't know the framework in Romania, but something tells me in corrupt countries, you can kind of just do what you want to do.
Yeah, bro, money talks.
The one thing I will say about Romania, do you think this is a good look or a bad look for the country of Romania?
Bad.
I would argue that nobody has done more to help tourism and to make Romania popular as it is now than Tate. If Tate didn't live in Romania, if he lived in Croatia, if he lived in Serbia, if he lived in somewhere in Russia, nobody would be talking about Romania.
Of course.
Like and he's said only good things about Romania. I come here, it's a Christian country. Yes, it's corrupt, but everywhere it's corrupt. This difference is you can pay people off here. Mm-hmm. There's nice people, nice women. Like it's like almost done the exact same thing that Borat did for Kazakhstan. Yeah. Nobody know the Kazakhstan before, but the difference is Borat kind of clowned Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Tate did good things for Romania. We're talking about Romania.
Bro, he has a casino there. You know how much money with taxes that they're going to get for the country? Are you crazy, bro?
Yeah. So he's, I don't know. Look, here's what I actually want to say. You talked about like the people that love Tate, they're coming to his defense. The people that hate Tate are just jumping on it. By the way, now, for whether it's me, whether it's you, whether it's anybody out there listening, now is the easiest time ever to shit on Tate.
Of
To
course.
pile on. I knew it. He's a scumbag. But now is actually where you show conviction and actually show friendship and actually show someone, you know what, you respect. So for me, I'm not believing any of this nonsense. I'm gonna stand by my innocent until proven guilty.
Good.
And we've had a great time with Tate. I have nothing but good things to say about Tate. Are there going to be some things we disagree upon? Sure.
Yeah.
I disagree with you.
Yeah.
You're one of my best friends here.
Yeah.
Same with Pat. But I'm not believing any of this nonsense. Again, innocent until proven guilty.
Pull up the story I just texted you, Rob. Let's read that Reuters story that just came out an hour ago.
I agree with you, Adam. For sure.
So oh, by the way, one other very credible lady got on yesterday saying, what's her name? Eliza, something like that. Okay, let me read this article and I'll tell you what she said. Ex-kickboxer Andrew Tate detained by Romanian rape and human trafficking case. Okay, go down. All right, so Romanian prosecutors asked the Bucharest court on Friday to extend detention on Andrew Tate 30 days. After the divisive internet personality was arrested on suspicion of human trafficking. Tate, a former kickboxer, and his brother Tate, okay, got that. And anti-organized crime prosecutors have notified the Rights and Liberties judge with the Bucharest court with a proposal to remand the 4 suspects for 30 days. The brothers declined to comment on Thursday, but their lawyer confirmed they had been detained. Prosecutors said the Tate brothers have been under criminal investigation since April. The 4 suspects appear to have created an organized crime group with the purpose of recruiting, housing, and exploiting women by forcing them to create pornographic content meant to be seen on specialized websites for a cost. Go a little lower. Keep going. Prosecutors said they would have gained important sums of money. Prosecutors said they found 6 women who had been sexually exploited by the suspects. Tate gained notoriety for misogynistic comments and hate speech. He said women are partially responsible for being raped and they belonged to men. A number of social media platforms banned Tate, including Twitter, but his account here became active November after the platform was taken over by Elon Musk. In one of his tweets following his return to platform, said he was flying to California to tell Musk he was a legend. Tate appeared to have sent a tweet on Friday suggesting he had access to his phone and social media while in custody. Early this week, the British national was told to get a life by climate activist Greta Thunberg on Twitter. Okay, we know that whole story, how this thing takes place. But so there are 6. So one of these girls who was on the Twitter Spaces yesterday said the following. She says, look, you have to keep in mind that I've been dealing with one of the individuals that's making these claims, women that's making these claims since summer about that she was taken advantage of. And I've been working with her since April or May. This lady said, I can't give you all the details. I can't say anything. I can't do this. I can't do that because I'm representing her. I'm helping her out. But this is real. They have been doing this. And the phrase that was constantly being used yesterday is the following phrase called the lover boy allegation. I don't know if you're familiar with the lover boy allegation. Pull up lover boy allegation. Type in lover boy allegation, which lover boy human. Okay, right there, the first one. Yeah. Okay, so zoom in so we can read it in. So lover boys or Romeo pimps are human traffickers who usually operate by trying to make young girls or boys fall in love with them. Sometimes they manipulate young people in other ways. Once they have victims under their influence, they exploit them. For instance, in sex industry. Lover boy method changing due to internet and social media. Traditionally, lover boy seduces young, vulnerable girls and boys over a lengthy period of time in order to exploit them sexually. Later on, this practice is being used less and less. Nowadays, lover boys resort more quickly and frequently to threatening their victims using blackmail and violence. The internet and social media are playing an increasing role in this phenomenon. For instance, social media provides lover boys with much greater scope for establishing contact with victims and gathering information about vulnerable boys and girls. This makes it easier for them to force their young victims into the sex industry. So that is the methodology they're saying they used.
Yeah, well, if I may, the lover, listen, I go out in South Beach. I have friends who are good-looking dudes, lover boys, like pimp type dudes. What they're describing are sociopaths and criminals.
Yeah.
Okay, since when is being a good-looking, suave, methodical dude a bad thing? I think that's actually a good thing. So they're kind of copying and pasting and a nice name over actually a very criminal, intentive type of description. So I don't know, this
Bro,
lover boy thing.
Have you guys seen? Have you go on anything that Dan Blazarian's doing? It's go on his Instagram. It's Dan Blazarian, Pat, with like 50 of the hottest, and he's just in the back chilling. He just
lover boy.
I mean, bro, like obviously, and mind you, these girls are getting the notoriety. They're with them. They're on Instagram. All these girls have a massive following everywhere. Everybody's getting paid. He's the, like Adam said, lover boy. He's the playboy, and it's an image. But like I said, Pat, it's all. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but it's all cahoots. Everybody, if the U.S. Embassy's involved and they go, bro, go in there, get the cameras, record it. And mind you, when this hit, Pat, it hit all my notifications. Bing, 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 bing. It's an effort by everybody all together to try to knock this guy down because he messed with them.
Let me tell you something about these lover boys, okay, whatever this is. There's exceptions and there are rules, okay? Let's talk about the rule, because obviously we can go to exceptions. If you're Dan Bilzerian, if you're Andrew Tate, for example, if you're Leonardo DiCaprio, if you're Matthew McConaughey, you're George Clooney, you don't need to resort to this type of fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
You have girls throwing themselves at you.
Yeah.
You don't need to induce. You don't need to drug. You don't need to like manipulate. You get what you want. Now, the exceptions, you're fucking scumbag like Bill Cosby or Harvey Weinstein. Those are the exceptions. But if you're an exceptional dude or you're a high dude, man of status, you don't need to resort to these types of measures. It's just something you don't need to do as a dude.
Yeah.
The worst dudes out there are the guys that can't get laid, that get no attention from girls, got nothing going on for them. Those are the sociopaths that you need to look out for.
Yeah,
those are the
100%.
rapists. Those are the criminals. I'm not buying this bullshit.
I mean, and Pat, and the beauty, like you said, is he's lucky that it is Romania. And dude, he has money, bro. He's not gonna go to jail for. I don't think he's gonna go to jail at all.
Yeah,
none of them. But that's the problem because I know Pat here, the RICO thing with that, like Giuliani and them did, is that now think about this: if he has somebody in his crew that was being shady, does he get in trouble?
So what they're one of the things you guys said a lot of different things here, so I want to make sure we address this. Lover boy, Hugh Hefner was a lover boy guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, number one.
He's the ultimate lover boy guy.
And you don't think he had accusations?
Well, of course.
He had women still to this day accusing him of like holding them hostage.
He did, but the only difference is he didn't call out climate change activists. He didn't call out the left. He didn't call out any of this stuff. So there's a rule of thumb. If you go after the establishment, be ready.
Yep.
If you go after the establishment, be ready, especially the louder you are. By the way, there are only a few people loud enough to go after the establishment. One of the guys today that's super loud is number one is Musk.
Yep.
And Tate's in the top 10 of the loudest against the establishment. We know what happened when Trump went after the establishment.
Yep.
We're seeing what's going on with Musk going after the establishment. We're seeing what he went after the establishment. Those are a couple things you got to be careful with. Here's a part about what you just said. One of the claims is what they're trying to do, okay, is you know how a lot of times like, well, how come he doesn't come to U.S.? Well, I don't want to come to U.S. I don't want to come to U.S. I don't want to come to U.S. One of the claims that one of the lawyers made is they're trying to use this to bring him to U.S. courts to get him to be seen guilty. This is an outcome of trying to bring him here.
Extradition.
To bring him here and have the U.S. courts hold him accountable, okay? Because who is he calling out? If you were to take out of the 196 countries or so that we have, give or take, what country does he call out the most?
U.S.
Is there even a
Western
close,
society, Western
nothing.
culture, globalist
Western
elite,
society is the first
100%.
country he calls out non-stop. He's constantly calling out. Okay. And what's he calling out about the Western society?
Like making men into like making us
System is
soft,
rigged.
and he's basically saying that when you want to come and let's say take over a country, you got to take the men, get the men out, make them feminine, and da 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 da. And he's just calling out all the woke shit.
Who the woke folks don't want to hear that. The left folks don't want to hear that.
Of course not.
The majority of women also don't want to hear that.
No. I'm telling you, yesterday, the amount of DMs that I got, I've never gotten DMs like this. You piece of shit, you this,
really?
you that,
By the
you
way, I'm
might as well die.
getting
and
the
you,
same nonsense.
I can't believe you said this, and I can't believe you said that. To me, that's not typical protocol where people message me on stuff like that. But to defend him, he's that much of a trigger to the left because Greta. Don't forget that post, that tweet by her got a couple 100 million views on Twitter, and this is under Musk. That thing got a couple 100 million views under Twitter. What does that tell you? she's got a following.
Of course.
She's got influence. People actually want to sit there and believe that she's right. And by the way, thank God she's 19 years old, because some people would come back and said, you're going after a minor.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's 19 years old, so it's not like we all know her as 12 years old or 15
Yeah.
years old. She's no longer 15 years old. She's 19 years old today. So, yeah, they're trying to bring him to the States that's what a lot of people said. They're trying to bring him out here, but we'll see.
Here's where I think Tate message gets lost in translation. So when we sat with him, I said, what's the number one reason you thought you were canceled? He goes, I already know. Because I asked it, I'm like, is it masculinity? Is it toxic masculinity? Is it chauvinism? Is it calling out the system? Is it calling out the matrix? Is it male self-improvement? He's like, I already know. The reason I got canceled is because I call out the establishment. I call out the matrix. They don't want to hear what I have to say. But if you talk about Tate's messaging, I believe there's three major themes that he talks about. So number one is he calls out the matrix and the system and everything and the global elite that comes with that. Cool, fair. We just addressed that. Number two is what he's labeled as a misogynist or a chauvinist and toxic masculinity. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how he's labeled. Like if you look at any article out there, any headline, it's male chauvinist, Andrew Tate, toxic masculinity, Andrew Tate. And that's kind of what he's framed as. But if you actually peel back the onion and you actually listen to what Tate's saying and not taking it little sound bites, all he's talking about at the end of the day is male self-improvement. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially everything that we stand for here at Valuetainment. That's everything that I talk about here is no matter what you're doing in life as a man, there's always room for self-improvement. Personal responsibility, being positive, whether that's being stronger, faster, cooler, wealthier, doper, sexier, everything is about status, okay? So when it comes to self-improvement, here, I'm going to go on a little rant for a sec. The number one thing that a man can have is status. There's three types of status that a man can reach. There's number one, wealth, okay, and everything that comes with wealth. Money, success, ambition, your network, everything that you collect, resources, that's number one, part of status. Number two is attractiveness as a man. Status. So meaning you're good looking, you're in shape, you're suave, you dress well. Like Jordan Peterson talks about dressing in suits and looking like a man. So that is attractiveness. Women obviously like dudes with six packs and muscle. Like that's part of that. And then the third one is having game. Now there's different types of game out there that can improve your status. So whether it's you're funny, you're a comedian, you're clever, you're witty, you're romantic, you're kind, whatever it is, that's your game. Now here's the deal. If you're in the top 10% of any of those three categories, you will get women and women will come to you. Mm-hmm. What do I mean? If you've got a ton of money, I don't care if you look like
we've seen
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Women are going to be attracted to you. Number two, if you're an attractive guy, you're in shape, you're a good-looking dude, like that's done. Like no matter how much money you have, you're going to get women. If you've got game, whether you're a funny comedian or whether you're a suave dude or romantic, whatever it is, whatever your skill set is, if you're in the top 10% of any of those three categories, you'll get women. Now, to put this all together, like Tate would do, he would say, keep working on all three. Make your money, work your ass out, improve your game, learn how to talk to women. Famously in the red pill community, what he's a part of, it's money, muscles, game, and hold frame. Mm-hmm. So again, back to my initial point. Yes, he talks about the system and he talks about people label him as a misogynist and a toxic masculinity. But at the end of the day, I think the reason that he's resonated with so many dudes is he's like, nobody's coming to save you, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody's walking in this door. You need to do it yourself. Keep improving. Keep working. Outwork, out-strategize, out-improve, outlast. And that's his messaging, but nobody wants to talk about that.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.